so let's start with this or sound. Now I'm starting with this sound because it's the hardest, and I don't know if you've noticed, but I often like to start with difficult topics that I find hard. And what I want you to notice, why is it the hardest? Because so many times, it seems to me, you have homophones that use the sound or. Let me give you an example down at the bottom. Or, just that sound on its own, or can be 3 different words. It could be the conjunction or, X or Y, apples or pears. It could be something that you use in a boat when you are rowing, and row is on here, rowed. He rowed his boat. Rowing is you need to use an oar if you want to row a boat, and the oar is, you know what, I've got an oar right here, look at that, I've got an oar handy, look at that. Always keep an oar right by my English class, just in case. You'd be surprised what other boating equipment I have down there. But that's an oar. That yellow thing is a yellow oar. And if you live in fear or live in awe of God, for example, we often associate this word, it seems to me, with something like God, in awe of something. If you live in awe of something, it means amazement, and you are totally fascinated and maybe even a little bit fearful by how amazing that thing is. It's certainly related to the word awesome. Now notice I say awesome, although I know in America they say awesome, awesome. So they have a different pronunciation in America, certainly. But in British English, or. And by the way, all these homophones are British English homophones. I'm well aware, for example, and I mentioned it in the other class, that walk in American English is walk, and walk in American English is wok. Something that you use to cook. In British English, wok is something you use to cook, and walk is something that you do in the park. So there are differences between American and British English, so always bear that in mind. But just have a look at this or sound. Maul, like a shopping mall, and maul, the verb, when an animal rips somebody to pieces, he mauls, or it mauls that person. A bear, a polar bear might maul somebody if he's hungry. And there are always vicious dogs in our newspapers, sadly, that get out of control and maul some poor child or some poor adult. Sometimes there was a lady who was mauled to death by her own dogs, just in the paper today, I think. So maul. What about haul? Haul is a room in a house, and to haul something means to take it somewhere. You get haulage, which are those trucks, those lorries that haul goods across the country. So to haul something means to transfer something from one place to another, and it's usually something heavy, like a big cargo ship hauls cargo across the world. Pour, like pour me a drink, and poor like the opposite of rich. Roar, the lion roars, but you might decide to eat some raw food. Sushi is raw fish, I believe. And look at the bottom, you've got, and I don't know if you can see this, guys, but I've written pause. And they're actually all the same. You need to say them the same. A cat has paws, and the paws are dog has paws as well. Paws are the dog or cat's hands and feet. Paws, he pours me a drink every day, maybe. Paws are like spots, paws in the skin, and they can get infected and you can get a spot. Skin paws, your paws are in your skin. And let's pause for a moment and have a break. Let's pause. So pause. It does depend with that pause, because that last pause I think is pronounced differently in different countries as well. So always bear this in mind, guys, that these homophones only work with certain accents, and these are the ones which I think work with my accent.